Hi, I'm Ryan Wilcox. I discovered something super cool about GToolkit the other day, which is probably easier to show than to write in a blog post. GToolkit allows you to analyze and understand complex software systems, from large microservice herds to technical interactions to large, many hundreds of thousands of lines of code applications written over developer centuries. Occasionally, you need to analyze this, be that one-off queries or things you want to do, uh, like architecture diagrams and stuff like that. GToolkit is a very interesting way to do that. It's a moldable development environment based on Smalltalk that I've had my eye on for off and on for a year or so. Now, with that in mind, let's switch topic quickly and talk about Warley maps. Um, my simple and very bad explanation of a Warley map from the first like 40 pages of the Warley Maps book that I've read is that they graph a system's capabilities, relationships to the end user through the current state and time. Uh, the other day, I wrote my first Warley map for my team at work as a half accomplishments, half potential future strategy document. I handwrote it on a piece of paper and presented it to my colleagues, and they had to struggle through my handwriting, which I'm very sorry about, by the way. Um, and we couldn't edit it live as we collaborated on this document because it was just a static handwritten document, right? PNG, actually, that I had kind of scanned in. So what I really wanted to do is I wanted to quickly enter Warley maps on the computer. Like, wise, because again, according to the first 40 pages of this 300-page book I read, you should really do these like collaboratively in a group. So creation and interaction has to be very fast, and I don't want to have to be a Visio expert and struggle with general purpose drawing tools when I'm doing something very specific and it needs to be very, very fast. Um, and then I remembered GToolkit has a Warley map mode, but I couldn't find any real good documentation on how to use that. This video is that documentation. So let's switch over to GToolkit. GToolkit has Lipiter mode, which is like a knowledge base inside the Smalltalk image. We're going to ignore that and just make a new standalone note. So this is a new note. We can embed lots of interesting stuff in here, like a interactive notebook that you've seen elsewhere. We can even add Smalltalk code. 1 plus 1 plus 1. What does that give us? 2, right? Apodot. So, yeah, let's keep going now. So, let's make a Warley graph. Let's make a Warley map. A very bad one. As a Warley map, this map will not be good, but it's more of an example of how the UI works. And in that use case, it'll be okay. So we'll use this plus button again. We'll go down to Warley map. We'll select it. We'll hit return. And we have our Warley map. In Warley maps, the x-coordinate here is the like adoption cycle of the technology from somebody with an idea to custom built light bulbs to oh, I have to order a light bulb for my specific lamp to the commodity stage where I can go down to the 7-Eleven and buy a light bulb, and there's 5 different packs, 5 different kinds from 5 different manufacturers, and they really don't matter much, and they work with any lamp in my house, and it doesn't matter because it's all a commodity. And um, so That's how the x-axis works. The y-axis is the visibility to the end user. So down at the bottom here is the user doesn't care, right, at all. And up at the top is the most important thing. It's right in the user's face. The first thing they do, they open the web page or the app or whatever it is, and it's right the first thing they see, right? So let's make a Warley map. Okay, so double clicking on the graph will give you a point and a label. So let's talk about me and my Warley map drawing, right? We have hand drawings where I had an idea for a map and I duplicated this Warley map style on my piece of paper and we did it, right? Let's do it again. So slightly, still kind of custom built, but not as much, is drawings with graph paper background. I could have bought special Warley map paper. So two things going on here, right? One is this line of text is kind of annoying right there. So let's just move it. We just grab the text. We had to deselect something first, but grab the text and just drag it around here. We'll put it about back. And these two things are evolutions of the same idea. So on the Mac, what I do is I hold the Command key down and drag from one node to another node. And these are connected. If I drag the thing, it'll drag it around, right? So let's do another one, right? So I could have done something clever, very clever with Excel and charts, right? That's one way to diagram things, right? I could use OmniGraffle on the Mac or Visio on Windows. And these are all evolutions of the same kind of tool, right? So there. Now we've got this Warley Map specific tool, right? And really, that's a Visio and or OmniGraffle thing here, right? So we've got all these. Okay, so right now our chart is kind of confusing because are these items things that have happened or things that will happen in the future as part of our strategy? So I can right click on any element in my graph, my lines. Oh wait, oh, there we go. Right, I can click on a node, right? I can make this purple and bigger, right? So, per what I want to do in my graph, how everybody views my concepts, right? So that's how to do Warley maps. I could save this note. I could put it in my Lepeter knowledge base thing, and I could publish and share to my team. And when the time comes for us to revise this map, right, we can make it however we want, right, and just drag things around without having to deal with the either computer in Visio, right, or hand redraw everything, right? So that is GToolkit and Warley Maps, and this really cool feature of the notes feature in GT. And I hope everybody had fun and learned something.